So V3 collective runs transfer the data to BW delta Q. So this is same as serialized V3 update, which is absoluted now. But here they are make sure that serialization is correctly happening. Because of that issue only, that update method is not succeeded. So later they cover that serialization concept, and they continued with this non-serialized V3 update. But here again means again it may happen the serialization where basically it is mainly required for where serialization is not important. Okay, for example, if it is a inventory related data, okay, where we have inventory or material management, it is not like serialization need to be followed. It is having the movement type. So each movement is having different type. So based on that movement type, we can consider what is happening and how it is moving that particular material. So that will make sure, right? So for that kind of where it is serialization is not required, for that we'll use this non-serialized V3 update. Okay, so that is one thing here. So in constructive serialized V3, the data in the updating collective run is without regarding the sequence from the update tables. As I told that it is not required to have the serialization over here. You see the same as serialized V3 update, where it is loading to update table, from update table to delta Q, from delta Q to VW it will go. Similar only, but in background the logic being changed. Okay, so only suitable for data target design for which correct sequence of changes is not important. That is material movements. As I told that if it is not required serialization, so then it can be used. Okay, so V2 update has to be successful, as definitely that V2 update should be V2 update should be completed. Then only V3. Rahul, you given some number. Any problem?
No, Sudarshan, that Venkat told me to give number. That's why
Oh,
I
okay.
sent my number. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So these are all we have different types. Okay. Then we have some points to be remembered here. Okay. So basically, SAP suggested the preferred update method is this is a serial. Okay. First, we need to consider as a Q delta. If it is not possible Q delta, then we can go for direct delta. Okay. Then thirdly, it is a non-serialized update. Okay. So this is so as basically main thing to be followed is Q delta for most of the LO extractors. Okay. Then initialization, as I told that delta initialization, right? So whenever we are doing at first time initialization, what need to be done? Okay. So in ECC side, setup table need to be filled using SBIW. I'll show all this in system as well. Okay, SBIW. Then in BW side, initial data load need to be triggered. Okay, that is from RS7 info package need to be triggered. Okay, then schedule collective run, that is in LBWE. That is periodic jobs I told, right? V3 jobs that need to be scheduled, so that it will bring the data from either update table or extraction queue to BW delta queue. Okay, if it is a reinitialize, first time means these things need to be followed. If at all we are reinitializing delta again, so normally delta we initialized and it is going on fine. Maybe in some case it is corrupted. So again that time we need to reinitialize the delta. Okay, that time what need to be. So BW side delete initialization record at info package level. Okay, I'll show you that how to do that. Then in ACC side, we need to check in delta Q whether that particular data source is available or not. Once we delete the initialization record in BW, that will delete that entry, that particular data source from delta Q also. Okay. Okay, that will. So again, to cross check, we need to go and check in RSS7 whether that is available or not. Okay. Process outstanding updates. If at all anything outstanding updates are there, okay, those need to be processed. Then again check RSS7. Okay. Then we need to delete the setup table data. Okay, whatever that particular application relevant data which is there in the setup table, that need to be deleted. Okay, then in BW side, the initial delta load will be triggered. Okay, that is since we deleted that initialization, right? Again, we need to trigger reinitialize. Means that same process, initial with the data transfer or without data transfer, that need to be done. Then in ECC side, schedule collective run, that is similar previous screen I told in LBWE. Then from there it will be like loading to delta Q. From there regular delta loads will be happening. Okay, setup and initial load. Okay, setup table. Run test setup without blocking to get indication of setup runtime. Okay, so we'll run the test setup. Okay, so how it will be triggering, how much time, maybe how much data will bring. So based on that, we can, if we want to have, if we have a very huge volume of data, then we will split the data into different parts. Okay, split setup of historical data with the most current and changeable setup. So it will be like most current, for example, 2016 year we want to have one set of data, 2015, 2014. Like year wise also we can split the data and we can have the setup table filling for those. Okay, split initial loads using this above, whatever the selections we have done, those according to those selections we can do the initial loads also. Even initial loads also we can split and we can do that. Okay, delta load selections will contain union for all init selections. So as we are splitting the init loads, okay, delta load, when we do the delta load, it will combinedly taking all these initial loads, okay, like all union. For example, from 2010 each year till 2016 we have segregated like 2010, 11, 12, 13, like 7 initial loads are happen. So when we are triggering the delta, it will take from 2010 to 2016, all the years it will consider, that will, okay. So this is how it will be. For example, if you see transaction table, setup tables we are filling from starting to till 1999, one setup, okay. Setup 2, 2000, setup 3, 2001, 2002, then setup 5, 2003 to till 9999. Okay, this is how we triggered the setup table. We fill the setup table, and according to that also, like we loaded the initial loads. Okay, even initial loads with the same selection, we loaded into BW. Whereas for BW delta, how it will be happening? It will contain all this from first 1000 to this 9999. It will have, means it will combine this all initializations and it will bring, it will consider those and it will bring the delta data. Okay, so this is how we have data extraction happening in ECC side. I'll show you the relevant T codes where all it is there. Okay, okay. Let me log into remote desktop.
Madhusudan, Sudarshan, who perform this data load from ECC? It is BW people or functional people?
Yeah, it is like, this is set up, setting up how the data is reaching, that schedule jobs, everything, like, BW people can be do, or with the help of basis, they can schedule the jobs. That's what I'm showing in the system. But this
Okay.
application postings, everything will be done by users, application postings. Once users are posted, how the data is passing through. That's what I explained here.
No means you told some for a direct update to for like financial data, uh,
Mm,
or there are different data like material or SD data that we use a different strategy. But
yeah.
how BW people means they communicate with functional people for this transferring data.
Yeah, basically, it is like, normally, as SAP suggested, mostly it will be Q delta only. Okay,
Okay.
where we have um, extraction queues in place. Okay, then from there, data is passing through delta queue. Okay, but as they told that, if it is a limited data, maybe in the discussions, like when the implementation stage itself, as per the client requirement gathering phase, they will decide which one need to be perfectly suitable for this. Okay, for example, if it is a limited data, changes are there, then it is a direct delta. Okay, like for materials and those things, they can use non-serialized V3. So it is based on the discussion with the client, that architect people will be decided to set up that particular update method. Basically, it's a BW people will be doing that.
Okay.
Okay, and this is LBWQ, LBWE transaction. Okay, so you see all these LO extractions are appearing here. Okay, from starting application 2, we have different applications are there. Okay, if you expand that, you can see different. These are the extractors. Okay, these are the data sources. Sorry. Okay, if you see here, update mode, direct Q delta. Okay, so if you are changing, if you want to change this, just click on that, so that it will be, you can select that particular whichever is one. So it is not specific to a particular data source, it is specific to application level. Okay, so whatever we are, if you want to change any of this, for example, to LIS02 item, we cannot alone to this data source, we cannot change the update method, because it is a application specific, that purchasing application specific, we are changing the method. Okay, so if we change this, impacting it will be impacting to all. Okay, last transport. So it is changed. It means it is applicable for all the underlying data sources, whatever there. Okay, that is how it will be. Similarly, job control, as I told that V3 update, right? So as if it is a Q delta, we have extraction queue. From extraction queue to BW delta queue, to send the data from extraction queue to BW delta queue. This is the job we need to set up. Okay. Here, basically, it can be done by basis team as per the suggestions from BW team. Okay, or even from BW team also can schedule this job. We can set the date and time. Okay, if it is immediate. Okay, or if it is date and time. According to that, we can set up the timings, and print parameters we can give, and you can schedule that job, so that it will be like if it is required to run every 30 minutes or every 1 hour. So it will be scheduling that. So this is a V3 update where exactly the data from either it is a whatever the update mode, job control is same. Okay. So whether it is a queue delta, direct delta, or V3 update, whatever non-serialized V3, anything V3 job to be scheduled like this. Okay. So let me show you job, not keeping as periodic job with immediate. I'm giving CL. Okay, schedule job, new job schedule, job over. If you see, this is how it will be there. So job name should be LIS BW VB application. This is 02, right? So 02 and client. This is the client. That's how it will be there. So based on like how yeah, we have the data, means how, based on the application it will be the V3 update job will be different, but it will start with LIS BW VB application 02 like that. Okay, 0203 whatever. Okay, that's how it will be there. But again, this job control also it is specific to application, so all the data source will be getting the data for with that V3 update. Okay, so here in LBWE we will be doing that data source enhancement or even whatever earlier discussed, right? That also will do this job control and update methods also we can set up here. Okay, clear? Then let me say extraction queue, LBWQ. As of now, nothing is there because this is a demo system. No postings are happening here. So if at all client system, if at all any real-time system, if you see no under LBWQ, whenever users are posted the data, that will come and sit the data here. Okay. So from here, when V3 update the previous job whatever I shown, right, that job will be taking the data from here to RSS7, that is delta Q. Okay, here you can see each data source level, you can see the um, data source available. So when we trigger the data load and there is info package in BW side, okay, that will bring the data from this particular RSA BW delta Q, which is nothing but like delta Q. If you want to see the data, you can select that and you can see here data packet size and the maximum number of records to display. So this, if at all you want to display everything, you can select that many numbers. And here you can see delta update and delta repetition. For example, if you see, just if you want to see that, there is no data actually here. Let me, is there any last delta? Last delta records means whatever anything, sorry, anything last delta success, so that data you can see here. Why we have this delta repetition option here is, in case scenario, we are doing a delta load and it is failed, okay, it is failed. So when we trigger the delta, it is getting from here delta update, okay, delta update. So it will delete the data. When we started the data, it will extract from here and it will be removing the data. Okay, once it is removed from here, okay, and something happened and the system that delta load is failed, okay, so then we have chances to miss entire data, right? So to avoid that, like we have delta repetition also. Whenever the data is deleted from here, it will put here, it will keep the delta in delta repetition. In case if it is failed, So when we repeat the data load from BW, it will come and access from here, whatever the last file requires. So it is like when we are changing that QM status, that status to red again, okay, control tables relevant to that will be changing the flag as it is failed, and that will be communicated to the RSS7, that is a BW delta Q. So since it is a repeat delta, it should be take the data from delta repetition. Okay, so that's how it will be taking the data from delta update. If it is normally it is going on every day, it is fine, no issues, then every time it will be. So once it is completed, it will bring it will send the data to delta repetition, right? So when the next delta load trigger, it will delete from here, and again whatever that new delta load will be bringing the data, that will place again here. Okay, so it will be rotating like if the above delta load is completed fine, the data will be there here till the next delta triggered. Once the next delta triggered, the data will be removed from delta repetition, and whatever that particular new request or new load trigger, that data again from delta update to delta repetition it will be sending. So this is how the delta even failures can be managed here. Okay, this is what about RSS7. And also, as I told that we need to delete a setup table, right? Okay, for that also we have T code /n/lbwg. Okay, so deletion of setup table data. Okay, since we are doing this manually, and the data will be, for example, I want to load the historical data for 2012. Okay, so I have loaded that, and I have filled that setup table, and I have loaded the data, and again I have requirement to do the same load 2012 data load again. Okay, historical data. So again, if you maybe some more data are only specific period. For example, 10th period of 2012, I need to reload again. Okay, so here if you have already set up the data. Okay, so where there may be again, if you want to fill the setup table, you may have duplicate data here in the setup tables. So that is the reason whatever anything previously available data that need to be deleted here. Here we need to give that specific application. Again, it is application specific, not relevant to the data source. Okay, even if you want to load data to any one particular data source for that particular application, we need to delete entire